When a woman begins to pull away or goes silent, the instinctive reaction for many men is to double down, pursuing her harder, explaining their feelings, or trying every tactic to grab her attention. However, that approach is exactly what you must avoid. Why? Because each attempt to justify yourself, chase her, or seek her validation ultimately transfers your power into her hands, often in ways you may not even realize. The truth is, ignoring someone is a calculated psychological move. It stirs emotions and creates an imbalance in the dynamic. If you respond impulsively or act out of desperation, you're already letting her set the terms of engagement. This isn't about manipulation. It's about understanding the dynamics of attraction and maintaining your self-respect. Desperation and neediness are the antitheses of attraction. The more you center your actions on trying to get her attention back, the more you come across as someone lacking self-control or direction. Often, a woman's silence is not an absence of notice, it's deliberate. She's aware you'll react, and if you fall into that trap with every message, call, or apology, you're merely proving her expectations right. The issue isn't her behavior, but how you respond to it. Many men lose their composure the moment they feel ignored, becoming fixated on regaining her attention at any cost. This desperation leads to a cycle where self-respect is traded for fleeting validation, making you appear predictable and weak. The solution lies in mastering patience, embracing silence, and exercising self-control. Sometimes, the most powerful response is no response at all. By resisting the urge to react, you're not just preserving your dignity, but also shifting the dynamic back into balance. We're diving deeper into the most damaging missteps men make when faced with this situation, and exploring how steering clear of these behaviors can transform the outcome. This is about reclaiming your autonomy, understanding the nuances of attraction, and ensuring you don't find yourself playing a losing game. 1. Don't text her. When a woman begins ignoring you, the immediate temptation might be to reach out, sending messages to uncover what went wrong, or to reignite her attention. However, the moment you make that move, you've already shifted the dynamic against yourself. Instead of reaching for your phone, the most strategic response is to step back entirely. Withdraw, create space, and let the absence speak louder than any words could. This isn't about feigning disinterest or playing games. It's about reclaiming control of the situation by showing you refuse to be relegated to a backup option. When you resist the urge to text first, you demonstrate that your life doesn't orbit around her presence. This absence creates intrigue. Suddenly, you're not the easily accessible figure she might have taken for granted. Curiosity builds as she wonders what's occupying your time, flipping the narrative entirely. Reaching out too soon also puts you at risk of falling into the trap of over-explaining. Your ego might push you to clarify, justify, or prove your worth, but this only erodes your position further. Instead, let the silence do the work. If she values you, your absence will serve as a much-needed reality check. Consider this. If she leaves your last message unanswered, resist the impulse to follow up with questions or apologies. Give it time, days even. In this vacuum, she may begin to question her own actions or motives. The uncertainty of your silence can stir powerful emotions, creating a push-and-pull effect that shifts the balance back in your favor. By stepping away, you subtly communicate that you won't endlessly pursue or beg for attention. This realization often sparks a sense of potential loss, which can be far more impactful than any text or explanation. 2. Don't beg her. When a woman begins to pull away or distance herself, the last thing you should ever do is plead for her to stay. This principle goes beyond romantic relationships and applies universally, whether it's with a partner, a family member, or anyone else in your life. Begging undermines your self-respect, stripping you of dignity and reducing you to someone who depends on others for validation. As a man, your value stems from how much you value yourself. If someone is unwilling to appreciate or reciprocate that, the most powerful move you can make is to walk away. Pleading for someone's attention or affection sends a message of desperation, signaling that your worth is tied to their approval. This doesn't inspire attraction, admiration, or respect. It evokes pity, and that is never the response you want from anyone, especially a woman. Refusing to beg sets a firm boundary. It communicates that if she decides to leave, you have no problem moving forward. This boundary isn't just for her benefit. It's a vital act of self-preservation. By standing firm, you reaffirm your self-respect and prioritize your dignity over clinging to someone who chooses to drift away. Allow her to leave if that's her decision. Respect her space, and if she chooses to return, she'll do so on terms that honor your worth. If she doesn't come back, you gain the freedom to focus on what lies ahead. This isn't about being heartless or indifferent. It's about knowing your value and refusing to compromise it. There will always be moments in relationships where you feel tempted to lower your standards or plead to maintain peace. Choosing not to take that path makes a bold statement. You are your own priority. For instance, if you sense a growing distance in a relationship, don't resort to constant messaging or pleas to win her back. Stand your ground. Let her make her decision while you remain unwavering. The respect she'll feel for you, or the regret she may carry if she decides to leave, will far outweigh anything you could achieve by sacrificing your self-worth. By standing firm in your values, even in challenging times, you cultivate an inner strength that lays the foundation for real respect and enduring confidence. 3. Don't try to convince her. One of the gravest mistakes you can make as a man is attempting to persuade a woman to remain in your life when she starts pulling away. This act undermines your dignity and sacrifices your self-worth in an effort to hold on to someone who isn't fully invested. This isn't about love or compassion. It's about recognizing your intrinsic value and refusing to compromise it. Trying to convince her places all the power in her hands. It's akin to saying that your happiness depends entirely on her presence, as though you are incomplete without her. However, the truth is that you are whole and complete on your own. No woman should wield the ability to control your peace, joy, or sense of self. If she fails to see your worth, your response should be to step away, not to chase her. When you try to persuade someone to stay, particularly when they're showing signs of indifference, it creates an imbalance that shouldn't exist. It hands over control, allowing her to dictate the relationship's course. This isn't love, it's manipulation. A woman who genuinely values you will never make you feel as though you need to prove your worth to remain in her life. Lowering yourself to convince her only diminishes your position, making you seem weak and dependent. You end up offering something she may neither appreciate nor truly desire, leaving you feeling unfulfilled and undervalued. Instead of following that path, the wisest course of action is to stand firm. Refuse to make excuses for her behavior. Don't beg, chase, or seek validation. Grant her the space she seems to need, and let her decide her next move. If she recognizes your value, she'll return of her own accord, apologetic and certain of what she wants. If she doesn't, that's your signal to move on, knowing you deserve better. By not trying to convince her to stay, you ensure that you're not relegated to a mere placeholder in her life. You're allowing her the time and space to realize your absence and the void it creates. True power lies in your ability to let go, to walk away without hesitation, and to trust that your worth speaks for itself. 4. Don't chase her. Let me make this crystal clear. Chasing a woman who ignores you only serves to diminish your value as a man. When you pursue someone who isn't reciprocating, you're essentially sending a message that you doubt your own worth. It's as though you're saying, "I need your validation to feel complete." This mindset is not only destructive, but also fundamentally wrong. Here's the reality. Chasing her flips the power dynamic against you. The moment you begin to beg for her attention, you lower yourself in her eyes. It's no longer about mutual respect or attraction. It becomes about her holding all the cards. You erode your self-esteem by constantly questioning whether you're good enough. And that insecurity shines through in your actions. But let's pause for a moment. Is her pulling away really about your worth? No. It's about her own choices. And it's your responsibility to give her the space to make those decisions without compromising your dignity. Chasing her doesn't make her want you, it pushes her further away. Why? Because desperation is never attractive. Think about it. When a woman knows she can have you without any effort, what motivation does she have to respect or value you? None. She begins to see you as someone who'll tolerate being treated as an afterthought, and respect evaporates. So, what's the solution? Recognize your worth. Stop chasing. Step back and give her the chance to feel your absence. Let her experience the void that comes with losing someone who knows his value. If she truly values you, she'll return. on her own without needing to be convinced. Remember, you're not proving your worth by chasing. In fact, the more you chase, the more you devalue yourself. True power comes from knowing what you bring to the table and standing firm in that knowledge. Either she respects and appreciates it, or she's free to leave. And that's okay because you're better off without someone who doesn't recognize your value. You are the prize, not an option. Act like it. 5. Don't change your plans for her. A critical mistake men make when a woman starts pulling away is changing their plans to accommodate her. This behavior signals a lack of self-respect and can erode your value in her eyes. When you rearrange your life to suit her needs, you inadvertently communicate that her whims take precedence over your goals, ambitions, and priorities. Instead of being a man with a mission, you become someone who's too easily swayed, someone who sacrifices their plans just to win favor. This behavior doesn't inspire respect, it diminishes it. You might think that by showing you're willing to make time for her, she'll see how much you care. But this is a misconception. Changing your plans for someone who's ignoring you only sends the message that your time and life are negotiable. This does nothing to reignite her interest. In fact, it pushes her further away. The truth is, when a woman sees that you're willing to compromise everything for her attention, it lowers your perceived value. Respect and attraction are built on a foundation of mutual effort and shared priorities, not on one person bending over backward to accommodate the other. Instead of chasing or rearranging your life, focus on your own goals and routines. Whether it's hitting the gym, building your business, or spending time with friends, stick to your plans. Let her realize on her own what she's missing. If she's genuinely interested, she'll find a way to meet you halfway. If she's not, that's your cue to move forward without her. You're not a backup plan, nor should you be someone's convenience. Remember, you can't force someone to see your value. It's something they must recognize on their own. By maintaining your plans and staying true to your mission, you demonstrate that your time and energy are valuable. The bottom line is simple. Don't change your plans for anyone. Respect yourself enough to keep your priorities intact, and let her make the effort if she's truly interested. A woman who values you will respect your independence, and one who doesn't isn't worth your time. Have you ever found yourself in this situation? How did it turn out when you stopped chasing? Share your experiences below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let's connect and discuss how to reclaim your value and live with purpose. And always remember, you are the prize. Stay focused, stay grounded, and keep moving forward.